So far in our previous sessions, we learned about all the BW providers. Like, we covered ADSO concept, we covered composite provider concept, and info object master term we covered. Okay, few more still pending advanced concepts. But from today onwards, we are going to learn, BEX query reporting. Okay, in BW older versions, okay, like a BW 7.3, 7.5 on older, non-HANA databases, we use BEX Query Designer. It's a separate software we use to to create BEX queries. But on HANA database, BW 7.5 on HANA or BW 4 HANA, so there is no separate software for reporting. We create BEX queries directly from the HANA Studio only, not from SAP GUI. Remember, BEX queries can be created only from the HANA Studio. Okay, so how to create a BEX query? Generally, we can create BEX query either on top of info object. So first of all, better it's I will say in this way. What are the different info providers I have in BTPW? Provider means which holds data. So info object is one kind of provider. ADSO is a kind of provider which holds data, and CP composite provider is also a provider because even though it is a virtual provider, it doesn't store data inside, but when you execute it, then it will bring data from the underlying providers. So these are all the providers in the BW. Now on any of these I can create a report. So I can say BEX query, BEX report or report, anything we can call. Okay, so I can create report to any on these providers. So now what we are going to learn is how to create reports on composite provider. Report creation concept is same. On whichever object you are creating, it doesn't matter. But once you started creating report, it is same screen you will see in any place. Okay, so now we are going to create. Generally in real time also, we always get a requirement to create reports either on ADSO or 90% on the composite providers only. When we create a report in real time, we always create reports on top of composite providers. So how to create a report? Right click on the composite provider, go to new, and then query. You see, I am calling it as a report or query, both are same. Okay, so query means nothing but it's a technical term. Report is like a user term. Okay, so when user means whatever output we are getting out of this query is nothing but a report output. Okay, and we can call this technically when we designing this particular report, we call it as a query. Okay, now when coming to naming convention to be followed when creating a query is project to project it will be changed, but if you ask in general, it is better to start with the composite provider name. Either info object, if you creating this query on info object, start with info object name, whatever info object it is. If you are creating the query on ADSO, start with the ADSO technical name only. Since I am creating now this query on top of my composite provider, I am starting with the composite provider name, JSR P sales. After the composite provider name, provide underscore Q001. This is like a sequential number. Q for query, 001 is a sequential number. We can create n number of queries on a composite provider. There is no limit. Okay, so you can create n number. So why I am giving this sequential number? For example, as part of a requirement, if you are creating another query on top of it, then you will go for Q002. Like this sequentially, you will keep on increasing your query number, which uniquely identifies your queries. Okay, na? So now coming to the description, I can say sales report. Whatever description you want to provide to your query, you can give that one here. So generally, the query description represents what you are seeing in the query. In my starting classes, I told you we generate reports. Report is to actually to analyze the data. Why we create report? So far we learned modeling. What is modeling means? Bringing data from R3 into BW and massage the data. It means do the whatever business logics you want to apply it, and finally we are storing in one of the provider. And on top of it we creating composite provider which can be consumed via reports. Okay, so you are creating report. So finally, why you are creating a report? In order to analyze the data what you have in your BW system. Why we are analyzing the data? To derive some KPIs which will help you to improve your business. Okay, so for each and every report there is a requirement. So for example, sales report is there. So what is the benefit of sales report? It will provide you what is today's sales, yesterday's sales, month sales, weekly sales, all this information. So that kind of reports I can name. For example, if it is giving today's snapshot, then I can name that query as a daily sales report. Okay, for example, I am creating a query which provides monthly snapshot information, then monthly sales report, monthly sales report. So based upon the report functionality, you are going to provide the description for the report. Generally, the report requirements will come from the user, and accordingly they will only let you know this is my report query report name. So you need to provide same to your query also. Okay, so that's all about some background before creating this query. So I given my technical name, I given my description, and then clicking on finish button. Now creating query. So this is the query designer. Okay, like how we get ADS for designer and all, like this is the query designer. So here you see there are multiple tabs are there here: general tab, filter tab, sheet definition, condition, exception, dependencies, runtime properties. All these are different tabs. Each tab has their own importance and their own usage. We will learn one by one. Okay, so general tab is the properties of your query. So here we have a lot of things to learn, but at this point of time we are not focusing on the general tab. Let's move to the sheet definition. So first we will learn about sheet definition, then we will learn about further. Okay, no? So this is the easiest way. What is sheet definition? In the sheet definition, we will identify which are to be added to the rows, columns, and free characteristics. So first we will focus on the rows and column section, then we come to the free char section. Okay, so now what we are going to keep it on rows, what we are going to keep it on the columns. So now you created this query on a composite provider. So after when you in this query designer, whenever you open this query designer on your tab, you see there is a one more tab will be added, info provider. So in this info provider tab, on whichever provider you are creating this query, that provider information will be available. I am creating this particular query on this provider SR_P sales. Now you see SR_P sales I can see on the left hand side. These are all the fields that are coming from this provider. Okay, document number, item and all are the fields from this provider only. Now I can only use these fields. I cannot use any more fields from other providers. As this query was designed, I am going to design this query on top of this provider. I can only use the fields that are available in this provider, not from any other provider. Okay, now what I am going to do is I am adding G material to my row section and amount to my column section. Okay, so when I drag and drop this material to my row section, it came like this. And when I drag and drop my amount to the key figure section, it came in a different way. You see, when for the key figures, automatically system will create a structure. We call this symbol as a structure. Okay, this was the default structure created by SAP when you drag any key figure into the column section. Okay, and now if I drag another key figure into this one, now it will be added into the default structure. It won't create any new structure. For key figures, system always need one structure. Under this system will keep it. Okay, I am telling one more time. Just a right click, remove it. I will add one more time. So first time when you are bringing, dragging, dropping in your key figure into any either rows or columns, system will create a structure. Under this structure, it will add your field. And further later on, any field you add, it will be added automatically to the initial structure only. Okay, that's it. So now adding this material to the rows and key figures to the columns. Now how is your report output looks like? Okay, so I added it, but you don't know how exactly a report will looks like. So when you add in this way, now click on save button. And either you can go for data preview from here. You see here you have a symbol called data preview. Click on this data preview. One second, this data preview somehow it's not working. 1 minute. Reporting preview. Yeah, there is some problem with my data preview. If I go to info provider, if I go to my info project explorer, now you see under my composite provider, a folder, query folder was created. Under this folder, I can see my created report. Whichever report I created, I can see it now. Right click on this one and go for data preview. Some problem with my system. I am not able to see go data preview from here. So I am going in a different way. You see now the data preview looks in this way. The one which I added to the rows, it is coming here, and the key figures information coming in the this way on the x-axis. On columns, whatever I am adding in the rows coming, these are the nothing but rows. First row, second row, third row. So material information will be come in a row manner. M1 one row, say M2, M3, M5. Data will get. So if you go to this composite provider, in this composite provider you have many records, but all the records will aggregated at material level, and you are seeing unique materials here, and this quantity is the aggregated quantity of the M1 material, M2 material, M3, M5. These amounts also same way. Now what I am going to do is, if I'm going to add one more field to my rows. So after material, I am going to add document number. Okay, document number. I can add this document number after or before of this material. I am going to add before material. So sales order number and then material. I added these two fields into my report and saving my report. First save your report in order to see the data preview. Now go to your a Project Explorer, right click on your query, go for data preview. Now you see whatever you added on the rows, in the same sequence you see on your report output, sales order document, material, and then your key figures, followed by your key figures, quantity and amount. The key figures also comes in same sequence. Initially first you added quantity, then amount, same thing you are able to see in your data preview also. Okay, so about this result rows and all, yeah, I will come to this one, but at this point of time you understand how to add them to the rows and how your report looks like. So the more objects you keep on adding to the row section, the more number of columns it will add to your report, and all the key figures which you added in the column section will come in this way. So why these are calling as rows, these are calling as columns. Rows means the information will be splitted at rows. It means sales order number, this is one order number, second order number, third order number. So it was splitted in rows wise. Each row has their own combination. Okay, and why we call it as a columns? You see, quantity comes under one column, amount comes under another column. Okay, so I hope it is clear, the definition of the headings here. Rows means data will come in unique data will come in unique rows. Okay, now data will come with this combination. So sales order material is one combination. This 1001 M2 is one combination. 1001 M3 is another combination. 1002. All these are unique combinations. You don't see any duplicate row, anywhere. Everything is unique here. Okay. But you see there is a result rows coming, which is, result row is fine. For this document number, this was the total. For this document number, this was the total. But if you feel these result rows are, not okay for you, which is, disturbing to you, then you can suppress the result rows. How to suppress result rows? Select your row, whichever row you want to suppress, select your row, go to result output format, show result rows is there, right? Always. Now click on the pencil symbol, go here and select never. Then what will happen? Now click on save button. Now let's see the data preview. Right click here, data preview. You see now the result rows whichever we seen earlier here, it got suppressed. So by suppressing this result rows here, result rows out, show result rows, by updating this property to never, you are suppressing your result rows. We call technically suppressing the result information. There is one result row still coming at the end, so that is coming because of this material, because currently you suppressed this result rows only for the material. So for sales document still the setting is always only. If you don't want to see result rows at the bottom line also, then you need to suppress for the document number also. But in general, users will happy at least at least one totals at the last total rows is always good, looks good. Okay, intermediate also users will have requirement to see intermediates or totals also, so we will enable it in real time, but at the end having one total is always good. Okay, always we create reports as per the user requirements, not with our. Sometimes user don't know how to, they may ask us to provide the proper structure, and but 99% users will let us know on which format they want the report. Format means what rows they want to see it here, what columns they want to see it here, and in which sequence they want to see it. Okay, all this information they will provide to us via functional specification document. Okay, so now this is how to create a simple query. This is just a beginning of learning a query designer query design. Now whatever data preview I shown here, it is from the HANA Studio, but users never open HANA Studio and do data preview in this way. Users will execute the reports in a different way. How? What is the different way? We have multiple reporting tools are there which can utilize, which can consume data of our BEX query. So we call this as a BEX query. There are multiple tools out there which can consume this BEX query and show report on the with the different visualizations. One of the tool which we are going to learn is analysis for office. Okay, if I go to start menu, clicking on analysis office, then what will happen? This is an Excel tool. This analysis office is an Excel plugin. If you see now on my Excel screen, on the top you can see the related one. You see there is a tab called analysis. Okay, here. So whenever you enable that analysis office plugin on your Excel sheet, two new tabs or one new tab will come like this: analysis and analysis design. Okay, sometimes both may come in one screen only, but this way. So you need to what I will do is, instead of using this particular one, I am going to take new sheet. I am opening a new Excel sheet. In this Excel sheet, I am going to my analysis tab. I am going to insert data source. So this is how users will open our BW reports and see the output. Okay, na? So we must know how to use this analysis for office. So go to analysis, insert data source. They will also do in the same way, and they will go for select data source for analysis, and they will get this screen. No, not like this. They will get screen in this way. They will select our BW system, production system, and then click on next button. They will provide credentials and all if it is required. 1 second, maybe it is good if I log off, but let me see. How can I log off? 1 second. Let me close all Excel sheets, then it will be logged off. Then I can show you again how. Let me close all. Because yeah, now generally if I open my Excel sheet, let's see whether I have the analysis add-on coming automatically. Yeah, analysis add-on is coming automatically if I go to in, but generally you need to click on analysis office plugin, then only these two come if they are not appearing on your Excel sheet. So now select data source for analysis. You see, this is the logon screen. So it won't directly go into the system, but it will ask you to select the system. Here, skip here, then you will get this screen. This screen is nothing but your SAP HANA GUI screen. When you go to SAP logon pad, same kind of screen you will see in a different view. Now select your source system, whether development, test system, production system. Select your system and click on next. Then system will prompt you for the username and password. You need to provide the information. Then click on OK. So continue. Then system will log into your system, whichever it is, production, test, or development. Now you need to search your query. Users will search our query. So what is our query technical name? Our query technical name is SRP sales Q001. If I want to copy it, how can I copy it? Go to the general tab. From here you can select your query technical name, copy. Now come to analysis office. Select this query radio button. Go here and search for and then press enter. You see now the report was searched and I got the report name. Double click on it. Now report will start opening here. See, right side I got some screen and left side I got the report output. So this is how users will run our report using analysis for office. Okay, now they got the, so whatever query design I designed here, it means whichever key I kept on rows, whichever I kept on key figures, according to the definition, I am getting my report initial layout. We call this as a report initial layout. Okay, this comes as per your query design. Okay, now on the right hand side, this is called analysis tab. Okay, generally, yeah, for example, if I close it, it will be closed. If you are not able to see the analysis tab, how you can bring it here? Go to this display and then click on show design panel, display design panel. Then this design panel will come in this way. Okay, now this is your sales report name. These are the measures which are added to your query, and these are the rows which you added to your query output. Okay, nothing but on your query, whichever you are using, all the fields, all the info objects will be available here. Okay, as of now in my report I am consuming quantity, amount, material and sales order number. That's the reason only these four I am able to see. On the right hand side you see columns information, which is nothing but your columns information. Two fields are there, under rows two fields are there. The same you can see. If you expand columns, two fields are there, under rows you can see both fields. This is your design. Okay, now so this is the report output. User that never have access to the backend design. Okay, user never access your query directly from the backend. They always try to run the report from the analysis for office only. But user have sufficient, user also can do lot of things from here. Okay, so what they can do, currently I'm seeing here sales order material structure. If they want to see the data at only material level and they want to remove sales order document, simply they will come to this row section, right click on it, remove, click on remove. You see now sales order gone from the query output and I can see data at material level. You see data also got aggregated to the material level. Okay, so now while doing it, user not changing any backend query. Remember, the backend query is still as it is. User playing with the query on his AFO, on his tool, on his system. That's it. At any point of time, for example, I can go to new sheet. If I reopen the report, go to sales for data sales report. If I reopen, I will get the same as it is initial layout. Okay. So after user got the output, he can play with the report with whatever options he want. Again, if he wants to bring sales order to the row section, he can bring it. If he wants to remove material, he can remove it. So user can see the report in different perspectives by changing the layout of the report from the analysis office tool. Clear so far? So I hope it is clear. So now at this point of time, when they're removing something from the rows, they're not removing completely. It will be added to the, it will be available still at data source, this particular section, and they can bring it here. And if they want, if they need this, if they want to switch this rows to columns, columns to rows also, they can switch easily. So how they can switch? So somewhere, we have an option to switch, these things. I forgot that option, but I think swap access. You see, swap access option is there. By clicking it, you see now quantity and amount comes into rows and material and into columns. You see, it got changed. So analysis office is a very good tool which is having lot of functionalities to explore. So we will learn all the AFO functionalities also in the coming sessions. So for today, we are learning this one. So this is the basics. Okay. Now what we are going to see next? What we are going to see next is um, now this is my material. So if you see M1, M2, M3, user may not know what is M1, what is M2, because these are the technical names. Okay, yeah, they may have an idea what is M1, M2, but user doesn't want to see the technical name, but they want to see the description of this material. So how they can do it? They can do it in two ways. One, user can itself change the from this to the description. He will go to click on the material. Yeah, here this is the design panel, right? There is one more panel here which is hiding. So what is that panel? Go to display, show property view. This is the property view which was hidden earlier. So click on the material. When you click on the material, when you click on the sales order, you see this on the properties section. Oh, on the property section, it will change. Okay, based on whichever you selecting, corresponding properties will be displayed on the properties. Okay, currently I selected material. I went to this display property. I am changing this key to the text. Now see what happened on my report output. M1 was changed to sugar, material 2, M3, material 3, and material 5. So instead of key, now I am seeing material. If user wants to see key and text, then simply go here and change it to key and text. Now you see, you are able to see key at the next corresponding text also. So this is called master data. If, for example, sales order number, this is not a master data. There are no descriptions for the sales order number. So if you click on sales order number and try to get descriptions, it won't see, you cannot see it because this is not a master data. You didn't maintain any text also for it. But for material, you enable the text master data, you maintain some data for this material. Because of that, you are able to see corresponding text here. If anything was not maintained in the master data, then you cannot see it here. Okay, so I hope it is clear. So this whatever we are doing at AF4 level is everything at the visualization level only. Okay, the backend original query doesn't change. So now next thing what I'm going to see is, so when user executes the report, he is always getting initial layout in this way. But user wants like, okay, when I execute the report, I always want to see material with the material key and text information. Then this is the requirement from the user. Whenever user wants to open the report, he wants to see this material key and text information. This is a requirement. Then what we do from our IT team, we will open this query. We will go to this material. From the material properties on the queries designer, we go to display as property, change here and change it to key and text. And then save your query. And from now on, anyone means not only one user, any user opens this query. Now they are able to see the, like it is there in buffer. They can able to see this key and text here. Why it is coming? Anytime any user opens, they will see it, because this time I did this change in the backend, so this will be reflected to every user. Okay, so it is like this. What next? So this is the display property. So we learned about rows, columns, and result rows property and the display property. Okay, so now we are going to learn about free care section also. What is this free care section? Okay, so by after explaining free care section, we will conclude today's session, and tomorrow we will learn about further topics. So what is this free care section? If I go to info provider tab, I will try to add few things in the free care, like created on, and then item or 0 unit currency. I added these fields into my free care section. I am saving it. Okay, adding to the free care section doesn't change your layout. Your layout is always depends upon the what you selected on rows and columns. Okay, whatever report layout you are seeing on the initial screen, this is always the combination of your rows and columns. So if you add something into the free characteristics, this doesn't change your initial layout. Okay, I added some new fields to the free char section. Now I went to my analysis office. I'm taking new sheet. Here I'm trying to open my query. Select data source, select your report, open. You see, still my report layout is same. Sales order number, material coming in the row section, quantity amount coming in the column section. But whatever I added to the free char section, I can see those on my panel here. You see, under this data source panel, I can see created on currency, items, unit of measure. These are available for the user to do some analysis here, but they won't come onto the initial screen. Now, if user wants to see item next to the sales order number, he simply drags item into the report after sales document number. Now you see, he can see sales document number item along with it. Okay. But for items, we are getting result rows, right? To suppress result rows, go to item. He will go here and go to totals, hide totals. You see, and from the AFO level, user can suppress the totals also. Okay. So user can play with these free characteristics to analyze the data in a different perspectives. For example, he don't want to see anything on the rows, only wants to see totals, he can see. If he wants to see totals based on created on date, he can see. So on January 1st, this much quantity, January 2nd, 3rd, 4th, these much quantities they sold. So adding the fields, the free characteristics, providing user a functionality to explore the data with the different dimensions, characteristics. It is to explore the data, but whatever we keep on rows and columns, that will be the final initial layout, I can say. But after report output came, user can play with all the characteristics that are available under this data source section. This data source section is a combination of rows, columns, and the free char section. Okay, so now what next? Yeah, so I hope for today, because today is the first day we are learning this reporting, so I'm making it little bit short, and let's go for assignment. Okay, let me go to my assignment sheet. Yeah, we already did one complete assignment on creating some data flows, ADS was composite providers with join functionality and all. Now what I will ask you is to create a report on the same thing. Okay, now adding few more things, create a report. The report name is, so you created a composite provider XX underscore P sales, right? So create a report underscore Q001 and add below details. So what it means, under rows you are going to add material, and under columns you are going to add quantity and amount. Okay, and free char section you are going to add document number, item, created on currency, and unit. So add these under the report section, free char section. So create this report, and what you need to do further here, suppress result rows for the fields in rows section. So row section and free char section. So I am asking you to suppress the result rows. What exactly it means? I told you, right, the result row property where we have. So you need to go here and select the characteristic, and you need to change this result rows to never. This is nothing but suppressing result rows. In the same way you need to do for all the fields from the free characteristic. If you have more than one field to do the same kind of activity, by selecting the shift button, select all characteristics here, change one time. So it will be applied to the all fields here, whichever you selected for all fields. Now it was changed. So it's a shortcut. Okay. So like this, you need to suppress result rows for all the correct fields in the rows and free char section. Okay, so this is your assignment for tomorrow. So that's all. I'm saving this one and stopping recording.